Tell me what's the use to pick and choose from what you should or shouldn't do. That's time spent better sleeping in your bed.
We're wide awake in the shopping mall, trying clothes on from off of the wall. Yeah, anything to entertain yourself.
'Cause a costume can be quite comfortable. It can make you feel more beautiful. It can even make you look like someone else. But it's still you. There's nothing you can do. Like a bad habit, the one you couldn't kick. Yeah, it always is. There's nothing that no doctor's gonna fix. They've had your back bruised with their accolades and all four walls or a trophy case, but that doesn't make it any less of a page.
But you can make it all less difficult by embracing the ephemeral. Then you never have to worry or explain.
'Cause if it's really all just physical, then my memories immaterial. So why then do I remember you at all?
But I do, my friend, I've seen your face. We shared a cup, I know the taste. The sweetness is relentless on my lips.
So help me drinking everything that is, like a freed convict, drunk on redemption from the way I've been. But I swear this time that things will be different.
Your body's gone, your body's gone,
But your body's gone.
now your body's gone, now your body's gone, your body's gone, now your body's gone, your body's gone, now your body's gone,
Your body's gone. Your body's gone. Now your body's gone. Now your body's gone. Now your body's gone. Now your body's gone. But angel, you will live.
What the hell? I was like trying to figure out what that last chord would be.
I doesn't need it.
There's no beginning to this podcast. So, we'll just start. I am your host, Zach Little.
I'm your other host, Morgan Little.
I don't think we've ever actually said our own names at the
Not in
beginning
the
of the
intro.
podcast. It felt really unnatural. Welcome to another episode of Bright Eyes, Full Hearts, Can't Lose. We are so happy to be here with you today talking about our favorite artist in the world and our personal hero, Connor Oberst, and his flawless discography. Today, we're going to be talking about two smaller, I guess you want to call them EPs. There is no beginning to this story, and every day and every night, not necessarily in that order. So,
Right.
Morgan, and Arlo, hello. Arlo, of course, is here as last time. I hope everyone enjoyed the atmosphere he contributed to the show. I would like to just, I've got only two items of business from previous episode.
I have one.
Okay, great. So my first item is, I mentioned at one point in the Jonathan Franzen book, a character says that Connor Oberst works the word lift into every song. That is absolutely not true. So I let that quote go unchallenged in the episode, but I was like, I'm going to investigate that later. Totally not true. The other one that I thought was very funny, there was a point in the episode when I could not pull the name of a Drake album. I was talking about how every Drake album is the same. The album title that I could not pull, nothing was the same. So that's it for my past episode business. What about you? You got some previous
All right,
business to
I
settle?
now have two, which is number one, fuck Drake. Okay?
Okay.
I'm taking it back. I haven't listened to that album since I talked about it on the last episode.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to go ahead and say
It was a blip on the radar.
Well, it's hard to get unfucked, you know? Like,
Sure.
Number 2, no response from Jason Bozell still. All right?
Okay.
And, I'm kind of being like, you don't have that many followers, all right?
Well, wait, where are you communicating with? Where on what platform?
Instagram direct message.
See, I don't know exactly how Instagram direct messages work. If you're a famous,
Is that
or
why
if
you don't? Is that why you don't respond to all of my Instagrams about
Marvel superheroes?
superhero stuff?
I mean, some of them are pretty cool.
Others
And
others are excessive.
My
I know.
reaction is one of two things always. That's cool, or the person who created this should see a doctor.
Okay, but what does it say for me, who's obsessing over them and reading them all the time?
What do you make of the news, by the way, that Henry Cavill's not going to play Superman anymore? What's your take on that?
Well, I mean, first of all, sinking ship. Second of all,
how are they going to save Wonder Woman from this?
I liked what you said, where it was like, the universe should
fuck the idea of an expanded universe.
Yeah. Okay. Item of business out of the way before we talk comics really quick. Okay. Third item of business. Thing I never got to the last time. The last episode, I start talking about John Mayer on Harmontown.
Yes.
And I never get to my point of that whole thing, which was Dan Harmon asks him, what is your what can a fan say to you that makes you understand how important they are? And he was like, if somebody was like, you're my Clapton, like, that would be the thing,
Sure.
And I was like, I don't remember what context I brought it up in the episode, but that's a cool thing to think. And also it's like, I feel like that's how I feel about like we need to come up with like an equal thing to Conor Oberst of like because I feel like if we walked up and we were like, you're my Bob Dylan, he'd be like, fuck
you, I'm not like Bob
yeah,
Dylan.
yeah.
Yes.
So we need to come up with,
you know what my version of that would be? If someone
What?
came up to me and said, you're my David Rees, I'd be like, yes.
okay.
That's all I wanted.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to be.
You're my David Rees. So
Oh, thank you. You're my Clapton, Morgan.
thank you. Oh, see, this is what it is. Okay, we got it. What are you listening to?
Let's talk about.
You got anything
All right.
new?
Let's jump right into. I woke up with the song in my head this morning. The section where we talk about the things we've been listening to.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we last recorded this podcast. We've gone to DC and back,
Yep.
and a lot of other things have happened. And so one thing that kind of we never got a chance to talk about was Lamplit Pros.
Oh my God. We've never talked about it on here.
No, we didn't get a chance to talk about it. It wasn't out yet.
Okay. All right.
So
Strap in.
Dirty Projectors' newest album, Lamplit Pros, a thematic and sonic 180 from the last album.
Yes.
In a good way. Here's what I would say about Lamplit Pros was that like it recontextualized Dirty Projectors, the self-titled album, for me. Because a lot of the sonic elements of that album, the kind of like cold digital horns and the distorted vocals and stuff, are carried forward to this album and like reincorporated.
And they're fucking perfect.
Yeah, but they're like thrown into the normal Dirty Projectors mise en place,
Okay.
So you start to realize that each of these albums and each of these sounds are kind of like representative of parts of Dave Longstreth's personality. So the like heartbreak of the last album is still something that he carries with him and that sonically shows up in this album, but it's just in the background and it's even part of joy now, And I love like multi-album redemptive arcs. I was thinking about like when we're going to get to this Upside Down Mountain, Ruminations, Salutations, and that the arc across those three albums of like sort of like emotional upheaval and renewal. And I didn't know when Dirty Projectors came out last year that it was the first half of this story.
Okay, first of all, Lamplit Prose is my favorite album of all time, I think. I'm not joking. I think it's my favorite album that's ever been made. And it makes me I know I've said this before somewhere along the way, but like I find that I've found that after listening to this album, I feel like why would I continue making music, because everything that I've wanted to accomplish, he does in this album, and it's perfect, and it's amazing, and it's the best fucking album of all time. I listen to it, I'm not joking, every day. Like the songs are on playlists at work,
Yeah.
and like to the point where, and I feel like it's like this thing that like everyone that listens to it likes it.
Oh yeah, it's like it's pure joy.
Everyone
that
that listens to the Dirty Projectors is like, oh yeah, this is great.
I love hearing Dave Longstreth play guitar. It was
Yes.
so. It's not like he didn't play guitar on the last album, but it was backgrounded, you know. And it's so forefront here.
Can we talk about? Have you listened to it enough to say, like, Triple Spiral on this album?
I loved a triple spiral.
If I put the track list in front of you,
yeah, probably. I know my favorite song is Right Now, the first song.
Really?
Yes. I love Right Now.
Okay.
And then maybe What Is the Time?
Yes.
What is the time would be my very close second.
What is the time when I can call you by your name? I don't know why it's been so long. Alone and I don't know
What is the time is my favorite song that's ever been written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great song. And I guess probably my third place would probably be That's a Lifestyle.
Okay. That's a Lifestyle is an amazing song. Those are all great choices. I think that mine is Right Now is number 3. Number 2 is Bluebird.
Oh yeah, Bluebird's great. Another
And
great.
then the last one is What Is the Time, obviously.
Another
Number 1 is
great
What Is
Dirty
the Time.
Projector song about birds. One time, Christy, you know the song Two Doves?
Yeah.
One time, Christy drew this picture, and she just showed me this like incredibly weird face, and I was like, "What the fuck did you just draw?" And she drew a literal representation of the line, "Your hair is like an eagle, your two eyes are like two doves." So it was a face with two doves for eyes and an eagle on top of its head.
Oh my God.
And you're like, "Yeah, that's a really weird compliment when you really parse it out."
I'm not exaggerating when I say that What Is the Time is everything that I've wanted to accomplish in music is in one song, and I'm like now, because like this is the music that I'm into now.
Yeah.
Like that is everything. I'm like I could listen to that song on repeat in a white room in a fucking straight jacket for the.
I also want to give Dave Longstreth proper shout out for making Julian Casablancas into an adjective.
Yeah, yeah. He does some stuff on this album with like all of his lyrics are just so good. Like and like,
but they're like
silly
they're
at
knowingly
times.
goofy.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And it's like you know what I love too is
Like
I've
she
been,
even just saying she keeps it 100 in the shade is like such a dorky thing. But the song's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm so in love that I'm a dork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And Bluebird's kind of the same way, I feel like. Not as silly, but like same like I'm so in love that I'm like but yeah, I have to tell you, man, I'm like obsessed with this album and it just makes me feel so good listening to it. And in the exact same way that listening to the Dirty Projectors, like Dirty Projectors
The
self-titled
self-titled album?
is like heartbreaking horrible.
Yeah.
The first line is, I don't know why you've abandoned me. And it's all in that like wonky auto-tune voice. I don't know why you've abandoned me. Oh my God.
And it doesn't
I love
go
that
up
guy.
from there, really. I mean, the end of that album has a certain amount of, there's that song about kind of maybe being able to find some peace later on, like we can work together or whatever that last song is called. There's like a little note, but it's not much.
Yeah, but
that's a
does
downer
it?
album.
Yeah, but is that up at all if the bit is we can work together and like the whole premise of this album is your bandmate and lover has
According to Amber
Split up with
Kaufman,
you?
by the way, since very early in the process of making the album Dirty Projectors, since then she and Dave Longstreth have not spoken to each other.
yeah, that does not surprise me at all.
Yeah.
And like, so does that lean up at all? Like,
It's a good question.
ultimately, do you know? I'm gonna break some news to you.
Okay.
It's hard to. Sorry.
That's fine.
It's hard to when we see each other before we start recording.
Yeah.
It's hard to like not tell you things that
Yeah,
I wanna, that I want to bring up.
I wanted to tell you how much Kanye West sucked on SNL the other night.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
It's so fucking bad. But anyway.
He doesn't wear a "Make America Great Again" hat in it, right?
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. And he plays that stupid
That
I Love
stupid
It song. And it's like, why would you play a song on TV if you have to literally change or censor every single word? What the fuck is the point? It sounds like nothing. If you had never heard that song, you'd be like, it's already the worst song I've ever heard, but the radio edit of the song is even worse.
No.
It's so bad.
No.
Yeah.
I'm so upset.
It sucks.
Oh,
so
no.
bad. I feel bad for Adam Driver. Anyway, so you're going to break some news to me here.
Titus Andronicus has 3 new songs out today.
I know.
Oh, you do?
I listened to the 16-minute one today.
Okay. I have not listened to the 16-minute one today. Does it lean up at the end? Does it get good?
It's slow the whole time.
Okay. The other 2 songs are terrible too.
Shit.
Yeah. They're not bad like band-wise. Like it sounds good. The first song's 8 minutes long and it's literally the same riff over and over again.
Yeah. That's kind of his thing these days.
Yeah, but like it's in this one it's too much.
It's like the Home Alone song is like the weakest one on the most recent album, Productive Cough. The one that sounds like fake hair metal.
This is the song. It's Home Alone on Halloween.
Oh, it's the same song again?
Yeah.
Oh, well, why? Of all the songs to
It's
repeat.
pretty much the same song.
Of all the songs to repeat. Okay. Well, fine. Listen, the less said about the Titus Andronicus Halloween album, the better. What else are you listening to?
Okay, first of all, I'm preaching the word. As you know, I'm going around. Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I got to listen to it.
Okay, the album's called Sweetener, and it's incredible. It does have a little bit of a darker tone now that Mac Miller died.
Yeah.
So Mac Miller was her boyfriend.
I did not realize, and I don't mean to sound insensitive in any way, I did not realize that Mac Miller and Mac... Shit, there's another guy with a name just like that.
Weren't the same person?
Right.
Yeah, I also feel like, I mean, again, I don't want to sound insensitive either. I just feel like Mac Miller...
Mac DeMarco.
Yeah,
That's
sure,
who I thought was
don't
the
know.
same guy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I do not know a note of Mac Miller's songs.
Yeah.
I was very genuinely touched hearing people talk about how his music affected them on the internet in the wake of his death. And I thought, God, it really seems like a bummer that this guy died because he seems like a very inspiring force to a lot of people and to a lot of musicians who worked with him, a really good guy.
Well, it sounds like that. Yes, very much so. How come everyone kind of didn't do anything about his drug use then, right?
Well, I mean, I think that's the
That's
thing
what I
everybody
was
says.
gearing up to say. Don't want to sound too insensitive, even though clearly that comes off very insensitive. And I don't know the deal, but I just felt like now because of this context. Wait for my context, which is Ariana Grande just canceled a bunch of shows because she's got his dog and stuff. Like it's like seems pretty horrible.
Yeah.
On the album Sweetener, she has a song that's like I'm Better Off Without You. That is a amazing song. It's a great song. And like it sounds like she left him because of his drug use.
Sure.
So this is not a big deal to me. I'm not like on a podium being like, how come nobody helped this guy? I'm just saying like it seemed like a lot of people knew that this was the fucking deal with him. And it
I mean, maybe a lot of people really exhausted themselves trying to help, you know.
That's
I think
probably the case as well.
I don't know. I mean, it's weird to say I hope that's the case because you don't want anyone who is close to him saying, I wish I had done this or that. You want them saying, I did everything I could, you know. And I hope that's true. I don't know.
One thing, so on the topic of what are we listening to? Have you heard that about the Prince stuff that's come out?
I haven't heard anything since Prince's Nothing Compares to You.
Okay, so it's Piano and a Microphone
Uh-huh.
is the name of the album, 1983. And it is like 6 or 7 songs, I might be wrong about that, of him just like crushing it on the piano and singing. And like
Is that my echo?
some of it's like a little just rambly because he seems like he's just kind of
Give me the straighter one.
sitting at a piano, you
Right.
know? Like he's got like one of the tracks is like a 30-second clip of him singing like the verse to Purple Rain. He doesn't even do it's like one line of it, you know? Like he doesn't even do any sort of but it's called Purple Rain.
Never meant to cause you any sorrow. Never meant to cause you pain. Don't wanna one time see you laughing. Yeah. Don't wanna see you in the rain.
But the best track off of it that I've heard is the first one. It's called 17 Days. And it starts with this beat. And you hear him like having like bring up the track of the piano in the studio. And he's like, all right, now turn the microphones up so we can hear us. And he starts talking and he starts singing. And then like as he's singing, like in the middle of it, he's like, turn the microphone up or turn the microphone down. One of the two.
Yeah.
So like you can kind of, but his voice sounds fucking incredible in it. And it's a great song. And it also like, it really does showcases how good he is on piano.
Huh. Sounds awesome.
Yeah. It does get like, at times it's like, you got to be in the right mood for it because it is just Prince sitting noodling at a piano, you know?
Yeah. Well, I want to say that I've been in search of a particular sound. Okay?
Okay.
I've been in search of a particular sound, a sound that I call summery autumn, okay? Because I'm trying to keep the summer vibes going as much as I can, but I also want to embrace autumn. So there's two songs that I'm super into right now, okay? So,
Okay.
and I'll play them for you while we have dinner or something, because, so one of them is the song by Iron and Wine and Calexico. It's called History of Lovers. And it's just this upbeat, cool, kind of shuffly guitar part. And, you know, I really love the guy from Iron and Wine. I love his voice. And it's got, like, these big horns and everything because it's Calexico. The other one, Curveball, okay? It's a song called Oh Hi by Ray LaMontagne. Oh Hi, not like in California, not like Oh Hi, like O-J-I-A-I.
Okay.
Ray LaMontagne. I've never really liked Ray LaMontagne before.
No, me
I am
neither.
all about this goddamn song.
Okay, here's the thing with Ray LaMontagne. I feel like a lot of his shit's off the same.
I would agree, but this one is summery autumn in a nutshell.
Can I just say, because I feel like it will have to probably not get edited out. I'm feeling weird about our whole Mac Miller bit, right?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that too. I was like, how do I cut this out?
Well, so maybe don't cut it out, and we'll just be like, we're like,
Let's circle
here we
back.
are being like, I definitely led us down the wrong way. And I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong.
Let's say this. Drug addiction is incredibly complicated, not only because it can seem endless. And so if you're a person who is dealing with someone who's addicted to drugs, you can feel like you've intervened 100 times, you know?
Yeah.
And it's the 131st time that you don't intervene that something happens. Not only does it sometimes feel endless, sometimes it feels incredibly sudden, you know? Sometimes
Sure.
it comes absolutely out of nowhere, and you think, how could I have done anything when I didn't know anything? So there's a lot that people have to go through, and there's a certain amount of blaming yourself that maybe you have to go through, you know, when this happens to someone close to you. And nobody can forgive you. You kind of have to forgive yourself. You have to come to that conclusion on your own, but it isn't your fault. You know, it isn't your fault. It's never your fault. It has never in the history of ever been somebody else's fault when somebody else is addicted to drugs. So that is what I would like to say to anyone who might be affected by someone like Mac Miller or affected by Mac Miller. If Ariana Grande is listening to this,
Ooh, yeah.
obviously it is not your fault. If you need someone to temporarily adopt Mac Miller's dog, I will take it.
Ooh, yeah. Also, don't stop playing Sweetener Live because it's really good.
Yeah. Or you know, circle back around to it in a couple of years. But you know, we're Team Ariana. We're Team Pete Davidson around here.
There's a song on the album called Pete Davidson.
Is it about Pete Davidson's dick?
Probably.
I saw on Twitter that she implied that he had a giant dick. I think that's where
I feel like if you look at Pete Davidson, wouldn't you be like, yeah, he probably has a big dick.
I don't necessarily.
He looks lanky, tall.
This is where big dick energy came from, right? Isn't that where the whole phrase came from? It was a conversation about Pete Davidson having big dick energy.
Sarah and I had a conversation that led like this. She came up to me and she was like, "So you know what big dick energy is?" Or wait, was it you?
No,
it was Sarah.
It was me. Yeah.
She had to explain to me what it was, and I was like, I still don't get it. It was like when you explained to me Big Mood. That's what it was.
Sure.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm out of touch.
I feel like Val Kilmer has big dick energy, and Val Kilmer is a big mood. I cried listening to a Dawes song,
What song?
A Little Bit of Everything.
Dude, A Little Bit of Everything is like, that's, if What Is the Time is my favorite song, A Little Bit of Everything is like my second favorite song.
So,
okay,
yeah.
Let's talk about some of those lyrics, man.
Oh yeah.
My God.
So the one that got me, of all the a bunch of it was a lot, but the one that got me was the wife, the couple that are getting married, and the wife saying, "I think that love is so much easier than you realize, and you can give yourself to someone than you should." And I'm fucking washing dishes, listening to that song, just tears, you know, several single thug tears rolling down my cheek.
Every single bit of that is good.
Yeah, and I like the end where he's talking about like all the scientists and people and all the scientists and priests and everything.
They're
Yeah.
all right and they're all wrong.
Yeah. Although I do
It's
think
like
that
trying to make out every word and you simply hum along. Or,
yeah, I do think in general those West Coast singers like Dawes and Jenny Lewis and stuff, too many syllables per line. They're always trying to pack an extra couple syllables
You've
in there.
actually been preaching the word of Jenny Lewis too many syllable thing for a long time.
And Dawes is a similar offender. I mentioned that song in when I was giving a little toast at Ryan and Kelly's rehearsal dinner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I kind of had to abandon my bit. I wanted to do this bit about how I didn't have any advice to give and that Kelly and Ryan didn't need any advice, like they were going to be fine. But then I was going to quote that song because I think it's just such a simple and nice thought about relationships. If you can give yourself to someone, then you should. But Ryan's dad spoke first, and he gave a bunch of advice. So I was like, I can't get up there and say, you don't need any advice, because then it's like I'm saying, don't listen to your father. So I kind of had to pivot, and I did a little riff about being a millennial marriage expert, and it was a bunch of goofy bullshit.
You are a millennial marriage expert. You've been married for 10 years.
I know, but I wanted to get to that part anyway. But at a certain point, I was just spiraling. I was standing up in this room full of people just spiraling, and I was like, plus, I think in general, West Coast singers put too many syllables in their lines, and I'm like,
oh no, really? You brought that up? That's great.
I'm podcasting
that's
in
good
front
stuff.
of podcasting
That's
in
real
front of
good
my
stuff.
friends, in front of my friends' rich friends.
That's real good stuff. Do we have any other segments that like we need to hit upon?
Any other
before
segments? Let's see. We talked about new albums. We talked about what we're listening to. We didn't cover your release radar, but I honestly don't know anything
I
that's
don't know
coming out.
anything either.
So we're
It's 'cause
good
they
there.
all came out.
I think we're probably ready to go track by track, right?
I think we are.
So the first album that we're going to talk about today, the first EP, was called Every Day and Every Night. It was released in 1999. It's actually the first official Bright Eyes EP, and it came out before Fevers and Mirrors. So in listening to it, just overall, I guess my first thought is that, well, you were saying that it's kind of scrappily recorded in a way that this is pre-Mike Mogus. And so things are they're kind of piled on top of each other auditorily in a way that you're not really used to if you've been listening to more well-recorded Bright Eyes stuff, you know?
Well, but I think that like all the parts are there.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like you hear everything. You know what's really weird too is that like you hear things that like won't even come to fruition for years.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk about it when we get there, but Neely O'Hara is like very what he'll be doing in however many years, 5 years from then, you know? Like,
yeah, it's true. There's a lot of stuff where it's almost like later on, years later, he finally felt ready to explore those ideas in a larger sense.
oh, I finally have the quality that I can pull this off.
Yeah.
Because I do think it's a quality measure.
Yeah. That's probably what it was.
I think
was that
all this stuff was still rattling around his brain the whole time. I think it was just like, what can I do?
I
with
understand
this
that
stuff,
too.
you know?
I've had that exact kind of feeling with.
I think every artist does.
Yeah, you're like, I can't do this yet.
Yeah, but when I do,
But when I can,
I'll
I
be good
will.
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I'm gonna take it a little further, and I'm gonna say, if you're not doing that, then you as an artist are not progressing. You know what I mean? Like you got to kind of look at like,
unless something happens that takes you totally away from where you originally intended to be, You know, there
well,
are some
sure, because that
like,
happens. Yeah,
yeah, like
that definitely
Ryan
happens
Johnson,
plenty,
the director Ryan Johnson. Like, I do not think he ever intended to end up directing Star Wars movies, you know? And I think it fundamentally altered his trajectory as a director, but he's kept the same principles intact the entire time.
Right.
You know, I mean, before The Last Jedi came out, Ryan Johnson mostly had a reputation for having directed some of the most sinister episodes of Breaking Bad. So everyone thought that, you know, Luke Skywalker was going to be brutally murdered on camera kind of thing. And he did not do that. But instead, he took that, like, savage sense, basically, or, like, that willingness to go further than other people. And he kind of took an axe to Star Wars' own mythology on purpose. And I think that's why The Last Jedi will probably forever be the most controversial Star Wars movie. And, you know, that was the only way he was going to be able to do it.
They like to shit all over that movie. When I say they, I mean I'm kind of part of that. I don't think The Last Jedi is good. But,
I saw it one time. I liked it.
But here's how I feel about it. I feel like that movie is way better than the 3 prequels that happened in 2000. I mean, like they're leaps and bounds better.
Yeah, and I think The Last Jedi is a prolonged experiment in, like, rattling your expectations.
If you put the Phantom Menace ahead of The Last Jedi, and you're like, if you're a Star Wars guy and you're putting the Phantom Menace ahead of that, it's like you're fucking lying to yourself.
Here's the thing. I think Star Wars guys
I know.
have a very different well, I think they just have a very different set of priorities and reasons for liking the things that they like. They have this whole mythology in their heads that is, like, in Star Wars novels and in all this other shit too, and it's like they are serving a god that I have absolutely no knowledge of nor interest in.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't question their feelings. They can feel however they want to feel. But I don't think that, like anything else, like Harry Potter freaks who didn't like the Harry Potter movies, you have to understand that what you want is something that doesn't and cannot exist. The thing that can exist is this thing that you're getting, and you have to recognize how good this thing that you're getting is for what it is.
Yeah.
Even just for a movie. You know, the Harry Potter movies are good movies, but they also are good for, like, an 8-part epic story, you know? They're better than the fucking Hobbit movies.
Yeah. And the Lord of the Rings people are even crazier than
I know.
Insert whatever franchise you want to say. I don't know. I mean, like, I as a Marvel freak, I can say those Star Wars people, they don't know shit. No, I don't know.
Well, I guess I probably wouldn't consider myself a Marvel freak, but I do not feel like I hold tightly to anything. I don't ever say, like, this story has to be this. They have to do this or I'm going to be upset. I do not ever feel that way.
I don't feel that way about... I guess I don't feel that way either. And I also wouldn't knock a series piece, for the reasons. I feel like people... I think that holding things dear to you is really great.
Sure.
But I also think that, we take those things a little too far.
I think that when you expect a particular thing out of something you haven't seen yet, you are doing yourself a disservice. I think you have to, even for things that you love, even for characters that you love, for stories that are, like, fundamental to your being or whatever the fuck, I think that you have to go into a new thing blank slate. You have to let it be whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're always going to hate it. And that's true for Star Wars. That's true for, life events.
Yeah.
That's true for everything in your life. You got to always take everything on its own terms. On that note, I guess, every day and every night, taking it on its own terms. I guess I was thinking about the fact that, to me, it does feel a lot less folky. And so I was trying to put myself in the shoes of the people who associate Bright Eyes with more, like, emo bands. Like, Brand New. And I was thinking, if you only heard A Perfect Sonnet, and that was like your only Bright Eyes song, and you were like, yeah, like Bright Eyes, Brand New, those bands, that wouldn't sound crazy to me. You know?
Well, so there are certain times where you hear Conor Oberst and you're like, okay, I get where those people get their statements from.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, we're proponents of the idea that, none of that, like the whole emo thing.
Yeah, it's an
out of him is
inaccurate
just-
representation,
yeah.
but you got to recognize the fact that like A Perfect Sonnet was a big ass LimeWire song, you know?
Right,
That song was
right,
everywhere. So
right.
there were a lot of people, there are still a lot of people probably who the only Bright Eyes song they ever heard was A Perfect Sonnet.
Yeah.
Cause she left you a song that you don't want to sing.
I was just listening to Every Day and Every Night, thinking about what it's about. And it's true that there are these sonic notes of what's to come. Thematically, there is less because this whole album is basically just about like normal domestic horror, like getting trapped in like normal cycles in your like daily routine or like your emotional routine and all that stuff. And what Lifted was about is about like the transcendence that allows you to overcome those cycles. But this stuff back here in 99 is just about the cycles, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a little more of a downer.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny because I was listening to Pete Holmes' podcast around the time that I was really listening to this a lot. And he used the phrase at one point, the basic terror of ordinary things. And I wrote this down and I was like, that's what Every Day and Every Night's about. The basic terror of ordinary things.
Sure.
A line allows progress, a circle does not.
Great title.
Yeah, it is a good title. It's like, it's the most like declarative Bright Eyes title that there ever has been. You know?
No work today. Try pacing to keep awake. Laying round, no school today.
This is, I mean, I guess let's not shit ourselves is pretty close too. But I would say that, it has that like very like cinematic intro with the like guitar that
Yes.
comes in, and then it's got that like boom chut chut chut. Boom,
Okay, so
chut, chut, chut,
well,
drums.
it happens really quickly, but it's acoustic guitar intro.
Yeah,
Then that organ comes
Yes.
in, like really loud and great.
yeah,
And you're kind of like, I think he gives you like this like quick second of this is what the song is.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden it completely hits and it's completely different than you thought it was going to be.
Late afternoon, as you walk through the rooms of a house that is quiet, except for unanswered telephone.
including that this is one of very few duets that Conor Oberst has recorded, surprisingly.
And we're going to talk about both of them today.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
so the only other one that's outside of the Bright Eyes canon in general is there's a duet version of Lua that was on with Gillian Welsh that's on Dark Was the Night compilation album.
I don't know that I've ever heard that.
It's pretty
I'm
good.
sure I did at some
It's like when
point.
Conor Oberst first turned Lua into a duet. It's always a duet now when he does shows. But so this song has Joe Knapp from Sun Ambulance.
Yeah.
Does the other he
His
plays
voice,
the drums
man.
and
He's got
sings.
such a good voice.
He does. He has a great voice.
And it's because it's like just very distinct.
yeah.
There's nothing other like that's really stand out about it. It's just like there's something about that voice where it's very like exactly when it's him.
I don't know a lot of Sun Ambulance songs. I know the ones that are on Saddle Creek 50,
Yep.
like A Book Laid on Its Binding, and they're great.
Yeah, I like everything that's on what's the name of that one? Oh Holy Fools.
Oh, Holy Fools is the other one, yeah. I guess so we'll be talking about Joe Knapp again.
We will be cuz I mean there's some awesome songs on there. Brown Park is
Yeah,
the first
that is
song.
a great
and It's a
song.
great song.
I wonder about there's got to be more Sun Ambulance music back there. It's probably an undiscovered treasure for me, sort of
I
like
think
Lullaby for the Working
album
Class.
is called like The Key.
Yeah, that sounds right. The Key.
So we got to at least check that out.
Yeah. So this is a song that's about like addiction. So this is our first cycle, right?
What an interesting way to do a song too, with this duet kind of thing about addiction.
Yeah. Like it's like there's sort of the contrasting voices of one person, or
Could be anything with that. Yeah.
what this almost sounds, because this is a song that's told in the second person, like Bright Lights Big City. So it's like it's about you. It's like you're the one who's doing this.
Right.
So it's either Connor Oberst singing about himself in the second person, or Connor Oberst and Joe Knapp singing about a friend of theirs they're concerned about.
That's kind of what I took it as, is like concern for a friend.
Yeah.
But I also kind of feel like it's very like there's lots in that song that I feel like is only you'd only ever really describe it unless it was about like the only way it would be it was about yourself.
Well, that's true. Although over time I have learned that Connor Oberst is fairly imaginative about these sort of interior lives of other people.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
Everyone always took as a default that he was writing about himself all the time until recently, when it seems like he's been writing about other people. And so, taking the current Connor Oberst songs and looking back at the older ones, you think, oh, it's possible that this is not all autobiographical, and he's always just been a good writer.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean that's the thing, is that like being a master songwriter, it is kind of hard to determine what. Do you remember the line in this song about the light switch where he's talking about he's stumbling around the room?
That's a different song.
Is it?
Yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself. That's another album.
Okay. Because I was gonna say I heard it when listening through this thing, and I really wanted to take note of it.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. We'll talk about that line later. But the stumbling is in here. It's actually one of my favorite parts. So I love Connor Oberst's voice. Joe
It's
Knapp,
on the other album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Joe Knapp has a great voice, right? But I love Connor Oberst's voice so much.
Yeah.
So every time that Joe Knapp sings, then Connor Oberst like swoops back in.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, here's my guy. And there are some people that are really good at that. And Connor Oberst is one of them.
Yep.
And the best part is when he does the stumble around the neighborhood.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Wanna pass out where your roommates will find you again. Stumble around the neighborhood, nothing to do. You're always looking for something.
That's the best. You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, my guy's back.
Yeah, yeah.
And even though he was only gone for 10 seconds, another person who's really good at it is Anais Mitchell. Anais Mitchell has this duet she sings with another girl, and she sings early in the song, but then she comes back in on like the third verse, and when she does, you're like, oh my God.
You know what I think of as a great one of that is in Hades Town.
Yeah.
When he's calling her to Hades, and she goes, "Strange is the call of this strange man.
Yeah.
I wanna fly down and feed at his head." Like when she comes in, with "Strange is the call," it's like it's such a great lead off of Greg Brown too. Like
and she's just so good at swooping in.
Yeah.
And so is Connor Oberst. The only other person I could think of when I was thinking about this is Kanye West.
Yes.
Like the song Gone.
Yeah.
Kanye
Oh my
West does
God.
the first verse, then he's
Yes.
gone, and it's great. Like it's Cameron and Consequence, I think,
Yeah,
do the
yeah.
second and third verses, and it's great. And it's so much fun. And then when Kanye West comes back in, the music changes. That's when he does the "I'm ahead of my time," sometimes years out, and that like cello comes in.
Oh my God, dude! This song is Gone is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everything about yes to everything that you're
The
saying.
song Gone had me like I went so deep into Consequence's discography because I loved that his verse on that song so much.
And then there's also what's the third? Killa Cam?
Yeah, Cameron. Yeah.
That dude, when he comes in on that verse, he has like the best verse in that whole song.
Yeah, well, they're all good.
All right, we're not going to go into that.
It's a good
I was
song.
about to be like, all right, let's talk about this. Okay, so A Perfect Sonnet.
Yeah. So A Perfect Sonnet is, like I said, this was, I would say it was a big one among Connor non-lifers, you know? Like,
Yeah,
and
it
what I wrote was I wrote a lot of LimeWire downloads because it was one of those songs that just got around. And I feel like it did a lot for me the same way brand new songs did a lot for me when I was 14 or 15 years old. As a 31-year-old, it doesn't really do much for me. It's very like syllabically satisfying. There's so many words.
And I think that as much as his performance of it is really what we're talking about, where it leads people to believe. But just as a song, as a piece of written music,
Yeah.
all those pieces where the da 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 da, like the
Oh, yeah.
so I stand in the sun and I breathe with my lungs. Yeah,
that's great.
that's all. I mean, that's primetime Conor Oberst.
It is, and I love the narrative arc of the song, as basic as it is. He's like, I believe that lovers should be tied together and drowned. I believe that lovers should be burned, whatever. And then the last one is like, I believe that lovers should be left in a field to be happy and whatever. And you're like, okay, I get it. He's like, I'm just being angry, you know.
Well, but I when I heard that song back in the day, I'm sure I thought plenty of it.
Yeah.
But now I kind of look at he was so definitive in everything that he wrote. Like, now I'm coming to my final chapter. It's like, you're fucking 20 years old, motherfucker. Coming to your final chapter is only if you're going to kill yourself. He kind of always toys with that, like, within his music of, like, because I'm going to kill myself. And it's like, no, you're not.
You know what's funny is his attitude for, like, the first half of Conor Oberst is, I'm going to kill myself. And the second half is always like, why the fuck would you say you're going to kill yourself, you asshole? That's that's his perspective for the whole second half of his career, like Common Knowledge and all those other songs.
Well, and yeah.
That, you know, like that's one of my favorite Conor Oberst endings is when he says, you know, some people will say you're brave, some will say you ain't. And that's the end of the album. And I'm like, I love that as like a note to end on.
So I stand in the sun and I breathe with my lungs.
On my way to work, you know.
Okay, so I wrote an upbeat little ditty about how we're all fucking alone and we don't know what we're doing.
I kind of feel like this is how I feel about this song. The first part of the song is so boring.
But then it picks up.
But when it picks up, it's like not that good.
Oh, really? I like this song. I think, just in general, I think Conor Oberst has spoiled me, like, dynamic-wise. Because every single song I listen to by every artist, I expect to, like, explode at some point.
Yeah,
and when it doesn't, I'm like, weird. Why didn't the bomb go off?
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is a song that has, like, a very particular bomb that goes off.
Crying out loud for someone to help him, then collapsing on his back all pale and dead. Maybe it's me who's this unstable, always obsessed about the end. But can I never have this happen and just enjoy the time I spend?
And I love what this song is about in general. Literally, this song is about driving past a graveyard.
Yeah.
And then thinking about death and then going, fuck, why do I always think about death?
But, like, I don't know. What I just think is, like, see, I feel like I'm spoiled in the idea that, like, when that bomb goes off, when that jam out happens, I kind of expect a little more from him.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot goes on in this song. Even when they're jamming out, you know?
I do love that jam out, though. There's actually two great...
Fine, but
the Perfect Sonnet has a great, like... part, and this song has a great one. The part that blows up is when he goes, and collapsing on his back all pale and dead, is it just me or is this a...
You're singing it, by the way, this song sounds like it was written for a fucking musical. It sounds like it was written for a...
Oh, you're right, people dancing across the stage.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the time I spent.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. All of that. A new arrangement.
Wait a minute. I just wanted to talk about...
Ugh.
I wanted to talk about the... Well, I do. I just think in general, the theme of the song, right, about like negative, intrusive thoughts that you cannot shake is something that I identify with probably more strongly than almost anything Conor Oberst has ever sung about.
Okay,
Maybe that's
I can get
partly
down
why I
with
like
that.
it. Because that is such an issue for me all the time where I'll be just driving in my car and thinking horrible negative shit or like having horrible fantasies about like something violent happening to me. And I'm like, why do I let these thoughts happen to me? It's awful.
Yeah.
And
same.
so my other thought was, as far as there's like some noise track at the end here.
Yeah.
And what I wrote in my notes was, does Connor Oberst just wander onto playgrounds with a microphone?
Okay, so
Because he has so many interviews with little kids.
what other stuff do you like? You can hear him say,
Yeah.
what other stuff do you like at the end
And the
of
kid's
this?
like, I like
Yeah.
that. And he's-
And I feel like what other stuff do you like slowly lets us in on like it like takes a little bit of the magic away from, from
I
his
love that,
recordings.
though. And I
Because because it's like you can just imagine him sitting there with a microphone.
Well, there's an amazing curtain getting peeled back too in Neely O'Hara, but I think what the answer is to let Connor Oberst off the hook here. I think his mother, like our mother, has some connection to public education, and I think he worked in a school for a little while.
Yeah.
So I think sort of like we were talking at dinner about Piebald, sort of like the band Piebald. He's got like recordings of his students on their first album.
Right.
You know? Okay.
New arrangement.
A new arrangement. So this is the one that really feels like there's some future stuff in here. You know, it has
sure.
like that swooning big.
Yep.
There's like timpani and strings
Really awesome
and everything.
strings that sound very good for this recording on a
Yes,
whole.
for this whole session.
Yeah.
And for this being a pre-Nate Walcott.
Well, and I also think maybe this is what led to Connor Oberst being like, okay, well, what I can do right now is strings sound good. You know, like strings sound like maybe my electronic stuff isn't up to the par, but like we know how to record these instruments properly.
Yeah, I do think it does not sound quite as lush, and we talked a lot about how Lifted sounds like a place, you know? This doesn't sound like a place. It does sound like a musical recording of strings and stuff. It doesn't sound like they somehow managed to create this additional layer that brings it all together, but it does sound great. There's no issue with how it sounds. It just doesn't have the je ne sais quoi, you know, that Lifted has.
Uh-huh.
But I do love the I love the part that's like, don't just sit there when I call to you. Now that we're doing this one, it also sounds very musical. Should someone write a musical based on Every Day and Every Night?
Can we? Okay, so
Should
I
I?
was talking with Sarah about this week about ABBA, okay? Because
Yeah.
first of all, ABBA rocks,
Okay.
okay? Second of all,
Kind of got to take your word for it.
um,
I don't think I know a single ABBA song.
yeah, you do. You know the Mamma Mia song.
No, I never saw Mamma Mia.
Yeah, but you know how it goes. Mamma Mia, here we go again.
No.
Mama, how can I resist? They're great.
Really?
They're-
When
yeah,
I hear
they're
Mamma
great.
Mia, I just think of Queen.
Okay, so here's the Queen. Meh. No, I'm what a stance to
Fuck
take.
Freddie Mercury.
ABBA rocks, but Queen, meh. No, ABBA's good. So anyway, I was asking Sarah, I was like, so what is the deal with Mamma Mia? Like, was someone like, oh, we should take this album and write a musical around it?
I think so. I think it's a
Okay.
jukebox musical.
So why doesn't that happen more often, A?
Well, unfortunately, I think it does, but they just don't work. I think there's a Billy Joel one.
Well, there's Across the Universe, which I think is a bad movie. People love it. I think it's a bad movie.
Sure.
The Beatles songs are great in it. Guess why? Because the Beatles are great.
Right.
How could you possibly fuck it up? You know, like
I don't feel like you or Jeremy in our text thread. I don't think either of you appreciated the New York Post headline "Beat the Beatles" as much as I
it's
did.
because I've been thinking about it for every 12 minutes since it came out.
So you know how on Twitter the image is slightly cropped until you open the full image.
Yeah.
So I saw
Also,
this.
why? Fix
I don't
that,
know.
Twitter. That's fucking stupid.
I saw this picture in the greatest possible context, which is someone posted it on Twitter, and so I didn't see the full headline. I saw the sub-headline of "Come Together." Paul McCartney says he and John Lennon masturbated together. And then I clicked on the picture, and it opened up to "Beat the Beatles," and I, screamed with laughter at my desk.
Okay, so here's my thing with this whole Paul McCartney thing, okay? The difference between John Lennon and Paul McCartney is this, okay? Paul McCartney, better songwriter. We know that, all right? John Lennon, fucking cooler, okay?
Sure.
You got 70-year-old or 80-year-old, I don't know how old he is, Paul McCartney sitting in an interview, and you're like, hey, did you do any sex stuff with John Lennon? And he's like, oh, yeah, we jerked off together all the time, And then you got John Lennon, let's say Paul McCartney died back in 1980.
Yeah.
John Lennon would be like, yeah, man, we did plenty of stuff. He would not tell, he would not reveal The details.
Oh,
all right?
okay, that's what you're saying. I kind of think that if Paul McCartney had died in 1980 and not John Lennon, Paul McCartney would be considered the really cool Beatle, and John Lennon would be more like a Neil Young type guy.
He probably would be now, yeah. I also think that if I should have interrupted you when you said if Paul McCartney died in 1980, I'm done like, you mean when he did? Because remember that
when he died in
you know
1969?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know the whole thing about Paul McCartney? Yeah.
He's secretly dead.
Yeah,
You know,
it's-
that's that the new version of that is Avril Lavigne, right? You've heard that.
I have heard that. I
Yeah.
also do you know that do you know who Paul McCartney is supposedly is? His name is Billy Shears. And that's when they're introducing him in Sgt.
and they
Pepper's.
sing the one and only Billy Shears.
Yeah.
Ah.
They're introducing Paul McCartney.
You know, as far as album intros go, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, about as good as it gets.
I agree. I totally agree.
Here on the last podcast, we're here for some really insightful commentary. You know who's good? The Beatles.
I know, it's very brave of us to take that stance. All right.
But you know, it's true. Like, I mean, I can understand not really liking the Beatles because like you've listened to them for so long, like there's a certain amount of like almost sonic saturation or something, and you can certainly recognize that there are other bands that did maybe less on the list of things. Maybe they did less things, but they did more cool things than the Beatles did. You know, like you can be like, well, the Rolling Stones had 6 cooler contributions than the Beatles' 30 contributions to like overall music. But still, yeah.
Hey, you know what's a great Rolling Stone song that I've been listening to a lot lately is Hot Stuff.
Oh yeah,
You know that song?
I don't think I know it.
Hot Stuff. Can't get enough. It's just over and over again. It's great. It's good stuff.
You know,
It's hot stuff.
Mick Jagger really did not put a ton of effort into the lyrics, but that's okay.
I've never cared about the Rolling Stones. I think it's probably. Have you ever?
Yeah, I like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, but like, when did you start liking the Rolling Stones?
Like around the time that I started working at Colby's, and Jeremy would play like Beast of Burden every time we were cleaning up the kitchen. It's a great cleaning up song, Beast of Burden.
I started going through. I was like, I never really had an opinion. You know, never really listened to them. But I was like, when I think of Rolling Stones, like I'm like going through the songs that I know, and I'm like that song.
Sympathy
I
for
like
the Devil?
that song, and I was like, fuck, I think I like the Rolling
Yeah.
Stones.
Sympathy for the Devil, Under My Thumb, Get Off of My Cloud.
I'm more thinking like all the like.
Give Me
I
Shelter.
I like Ruby Tuesday, and I like Hot Stuff, and I like it doesn't matter.
What other Rolling Stones songs do you like? Let's do this for 45 minutes. So what about a new arrangement? What do I say about a new arrangement? I like it. It's a good song.
I like the fact that like in it you have these really beautiful sounding strings, right?
Yeah.
And the guitar sounds wicked shitty.
But baby, when I call for you, I want you to come.
I like that it's like a combo of like his gritty, because like these early recordings have this like grit to them.
Yeah.
Like he took the recording and threw it outside and stomped on it. You know.
Right.
Um.
But I do like that you can hear the intricacies of his like finger picking and stuff, the way he plays, because he does bury his own guitar work basically from now on forever, like a lot of
Yeah,
the time.
that's true,
And
he
you
does.
forget that Connor Oberst is a very good guitarist. When you see him play live, most of the time what you notice is just him like strumming like super hard, you
Yeah.
know? But he can really play.
Yeah, and he's got you know what I always live is he is doing that really hard strumming, but he kills it on rhythms with it.
Yeah.
You know, like because I think he knows, because he's such a fucking sound dude, that like he knows that an acoustic guitar gets drowned out in a live performance.
Yeah.
So that's what he does, is he keeps that rhythm down really well.
Mm-hmm. And Connor Oberst consistently sounds better live than any band that I've ever seen. He always sounds good. In every setting, he always sounds good.
Yeah, I agree. I think I definitely agree with that. He really is.
And as a guy who came up as a fan of Blink-182, I really noticed that.
yes, classically horrible. We saw when we were children. We saw Blink-182 twice, and they were fucking awful both times.
Both times, garbage.
And you know what was funny was they
Worse
they
the
both
second
had
time.
they both had awesome lead-in shows. It was Newfound Glory was the first one, and Green Day was the second one, and
Green Day was unbelievably
they were
good.
amazing.
And I imagine if you saw Green Day now, I bet they'd be even better.
I bet they would be too because they've got a lot of money behind them too.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Green Day is like sad for me because I was such a huge fan of them when I was a child, and I'm so like I wrote them off. They were the first band that I was like, nope, done with you guys.
Yeah.
And I think I aggressively threw the CD of American Idiot out the window of my car.
I can't blame you for that.
I remember being really excited for it too, and I stuck with them through Warning. I liked Warning.
Me too.
Warning was a good album.
Yeah.
And like,
This is a public service announcement. This is only a test. Actually, you know what the best song on that album is? Minority. Minority's amazing.
yeah, Minority was the hit off of that
Yeah.
album. Yeah.
Great song.
Green Day was good for like a long time.
Nimrod is amazing.
I think Dookie is the album, right?
Yeah. It is. But Nimrod is a close second.
I remember really liking 1,000 Smoothed Out Slappy Hours, whatever it was,
Oh, yeah.
and then I re-listened to it like not that long ago, and it was like, oh God, this is fucking unlistenable.
There's one good song. It's
Yeah.
the Go Into Piscalaqua song. That's like the
Oh
one good
yeah,
song on
yeah,
there.
yeah. Wasn't one for the Razorbacks or something on there?
Yeah, that's not bad.
I like that song.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that it took him a while. Billy Joe has that particular style of playing guitar. It's a very like weirdly thick sound, and I think he figured it out around Dookie and perfected it at Nimrod.
Mm.
So, Neely O'Hara. Let's talk about Neely O'Hara. This song starts, and right off the bat, it's making a play for Zach's favorite song of all time because the drums are backwards.
Dude. And it's like incredible.
Yeah.
That beat is the coolest thing. And it's like good for you for figuring it out this early.
Yeah.
You know?
Way before, I mean, okay, yes, the Beatles did backwards drums on Tomorrow Never Knows, but
Come on.
But-
this is
this and the synthesizer part that plays with the backwards drums is kind of like this like doo-doo-doo-doo, like this kind of pulling away sound.
yeah.
It's so cool.
It really is. The Neely O'Hara is like, it's not a song that I listen to regularly. You
Uh-huh.
know, none of these songs are really in the scope of things.
I actually, if I look at my playlist on Spotify and stuff, Neely O'Hara makes multiple appearances.
Does it really?
Yeah. That's the only one from this album that does, though.
Huh. Well, because I was gonna say that's a song that like it was like when what's the first line in the morning when you wake
throw
up
up water.
when you throw up water?
Yeah.
Like God, it was like weirdly, it was weird to hear it again.
Yeah.
You know, because it's been so long since I've heard the song.
In the morning when you throw up water and your skin it turns a pale, yeah.
That like it was like I felt weird hearing it.
It's kind of a surreal digression from the rest of this album being an album about kind of domestic horror. This one is kind of like dreamy and trippy, you know,
Yeah,
with its
it
lyrics
is. Yeah,
and its
it
musical
is.
style.
Yeah.
And it's got that. It's funny because it's got all this like backwards drums and stuff, and then that very serious and straightforward synth is what like anchors the kind of
Well,
synthesizer.
and like this is Digital Ash. This is Digital
This
Ash.
is Digital Ash preview number 1. We're gonna get preview number 2 on the next album.
Yeah,
we talk
that's true.
about.
Actually,
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's like everything that he was gonna do, he's got. You
Yeah.
know, he just hasn't figured it out yet.
I really like the song, and I really like the vibe of it. You know, this is one of the ones where he definitely records like doubled vocals because his voice is kind of weak but kind of echoey, and there's like and parts of it are kind of like distorted. So it's like he basically sings the exact same track twice.
Thank you very much.
And then layers them over each other, which is a very, if you're someone with an already kind of warbly voice like Conor Oberst, this really drives it home, I think, on purpose.
Yeah.
Almost as much as I would like to talk about that song, I want to talk about the end of Neely O'Hara because I love it so much. it's, I guess this is 1999, right? This is Conor Oberst's first serious like noise collage,
Yeah.
and it really goes all over the place. Conor Oberst sings the song "The Lily of the Valley" with an accordion in the background. There's a lot of different noise and sound happening, and it kind of dissolves into this woman talking in Russian. And I think she's conjugating verbs in Russian. And that I was talking about pulling back the curtain. At the end, you hear her explaining to Conor Oberst what she was doing. She's like, I left pauses so that you could repeat the words back. Because it's like she's making like a Russian lesson language for him.
Huh.
And so he's like, yeah, thank you, yeah.
Never connected that was what I was hearing. But
Yeah, that's what it is. And I would, by the way, every episode has to be me putting Pitchfork on blast a little bit. In their review of this, they call it Chinese language tapes. And I'm like, it's Russian. You could have figured out what language it was so easily. And it's also not a Chinese language tape because you hear Conor Oberst talking. He recorded it himself. And I think I've pinpointed my issue with Pitchfork's editorial point of view.
Okay.
Which is that, like, they are in general resentful of effort. They were not wild about Lamplit Prose, and it's
so they're on the wrong side of history. Okay.
And I feel like their whole thing is like, trying's not cool, so we're not even going to try to investigate what we're hearing. We're just going to write what we think we heard when we listened to this album and talk about why what we think we heard isn't good. And it doesn't matter that it's wrong because it would be uncool to investigate what was actually happening. And I don't like that. I think it is cool to dig in, and it is cool to find out things. And it is cool to research something if you're going to offer an opinion on it. And
that's the whole issue with any sort of music review to begin with. Is like, are you putting it in the context of this musician? Or are you putting it in the context of you even having the door open to liking whatever it is,
Music critics do that sometimes, but the only time they do is when they're talking about some giant fucking pop star. So, like, that's how somebody like Britney Spears, not to knock Britney Spears, that's how Britney Spears gets a really favorable review in, like, a Rolling Stone, whereas some other band that made an album that's a lot better than a Britney Spears album will get just like a dismissive blurb, because what else are you going to do? If you're writing about Britney Spears, you don't have that much to say about the music, so you have to dig into the mythology and the context, and then you come out of it with a more positive feeling about the work.
Boy, you're really coming after Britney Spears on this one.
No disrespect to Britney Spears.
Yeah, man.
Britney Spears is fine. I'm just saying, when I was growing up, when I was 15 or 16 years old, I read one too many, like, 4-star reviews of Britney Spears albums, and I was like, listen, I know that Britney Spears is fine. I also know this album is not as good as most of the people that have, like, bands and write songs and stuff. I know what they're doing is better if you afforded it the same amount of attention and the same amount of thought, but nobody does. Also, like, I believe it was a Pitchfork review of Bright Eyes, or maybe it was something else I was listening to. They were saying, like, probably lots of people have stuff like this, but who wants to listen to an EP from everyone in America? And I was like, I do. That's exactly what I want to do.
Well,
what
I
an
was going to say,
asshole kind
every
of
single
point of view
musician
is that?
in the world is hoping that you do, because now, like
the line. Oh, sorry, I wrote it down. The line was, "Hey, no one wants to wade through an EP from every third person in America," and I was like, what a shitty opinion.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
I'd hope that they would.
I would love to listen to an EP from every third person. That sounds awesome.
Well,
I would like to pick people at random and say, go make me an EP.
Me too. Okay, here's a weird thing about the internet.
Every third person listening to this podcast, go make me an EP.
Yeah, also...
I'll put it on my Bandcamp page and I'll split the profits with you. No, I'll give you 100% of the profits. I'm not going to take any of your money. I was thinking about Saddle
better
Creek.
idea. You set up your own Bandcamp and you charge people money for... and you can keep the money.
No, just do it through my Bandcamp. I'll pay the taxes.
Isn't it weird when you see... What do you think the cutoff for when you look down on a website, okay? Let's say you're looking at Bright Eyes lyrics this afternoon in your apartment in Dover, okay? Let's say you're scanning through. What do you think if you saw a comment, how long ago would you say, it's weird that I'm seeing a comment from this long ago?
Oh, yeah. I would say anything prior to 2006, I would feel weird about seeing.
I saw on songmeanings.com, it said 16 years ago was a comment on this Bright Eyes song. I was looking at it earlier. It was one of these songs.
Yeah.
16 years ago. I was like, this should be deleted by now. Like there's no reason that this should still be up on this website.
Nothing from the internet should be up from 16 years ago.
It's like when you find out that like a MySpace page is still open, kind of thing. I've tried to do that within the past like year. I was like, oh, I wonder if that's a thing. Because that did happen to me.
Yeah, last I knew, Subjection Casual's Pure Volume page is still up.
The Pure Volume page would not surprise me because the Mild Revolution's Pure Volume page, it was like, it's weird to check in on that. I check in on the Pure Volume page, and it's got like 2,000 plays a day.
Really?
I'm like, who's using this?
Wow.
Like, it's got weird, and it makes me think that
there's still a lot of active users out there.
No, I think they're messing with their numbers.
Oh.
But
here I was thinking there's like a whole community of Pure Volume listeners out there, and the people listening to this podcast are like, what the fuck? You guys don't listen to Pure Volume like every day?
Maybe. It makes me think that Pure Volume is
that's
doctoring
where Post
their
Malone
numbers.
is, guys.
Yeah.
You guys aren't on Post Malone's Wikipedia? No, Pure Volume.
And then there was one day that Jory had a Mild Rev song in one of his videos, and I clicked on it one day randomly.
Yeah.
And it was like the song had like 10,000 plays, and I was like, what is happening? Like, am I blowing up today? Like, yeah. And then I was like, oh no, you're in a Jory video. Okay, so we just crushed out every day and every night pretty quick.
Every day and every night. Yeah, it's good. It's fun. It's I would say it is not like essential Bright Eyes canon.
No.
Like I would say that essential Bright Eyes canon is mostly the full-length albums and really doesn't start until at least Fevers and Mirrors. Everything before that is kind of just bonus. But it's a nice bonus.
Yeah. All music of his is good.
Yeah.
So, like, it's worth it to listen to. Are these songs on my playlist now? No, because, well, I guess it depends on what I'm listening to. But, I mean, ultimately, I find that what I'm listening to in general is, like, Digital Ash and I'm Wide Awake It's Morning.
Yeah.
On.
But
even lifted songs don't show up that often for me.
I bet there are some songs on this next EP that we're going to talk about that show up on playlists from time to time.
Oh, there certainly are.
So this one is an EP called There Is No Beginning to This Story. Or, sorry, I always say this, but it's actually There's No Beginning to The Story.
That's funny that you say that because I had always thought that I said it wrong.
Well, because at the beginning of the song, at the beginning of
say,
Method Acting goes, there's no beginning to this story, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But he's probably saying there's no beginning to the story, but it's a fast enough
I
line.
always thought it was there's no beginning to the story.
Yeah.
But like whenever remarking on it, I would always say this story.
How does Dave Rawlings sing it? There's no beginning to the story. Bookshelf sinks into the sand. I miss Dave Rawlings. He played it with Gillian Welsh at Prescott Park, and I was bummed when I realized that because, man, have you ever heard their cover of the Radiohead song Black Star?
No.
Oh, it's amazing.
They're great, and
Yeah.
I wish that I could have gone to that show, but alas, I work early.
So
Let's dive right in.
So
We've
There's
already
No
talked
Beginning to
about.
Story. It's like a prequel to Lifted. I honestly actually think the last track on here, Untitled, I think it's truly like it's like meant to be a sonic transition to Lifted.
Okay, I think it might be two, because why is it the last track?
And it's just noise and there's sounds of being in a car.
Yeah. Okay, everything that we know about Conor Oberst puts this track as the first track of this EP, but it's not.
Yeah. It's
So
the last
why
one
is
instead.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can almost imagine that the car that you hear during Untitled is like a self-driving car that's driving over to Blake and Jenny's house, and then they get in and Lifted starts.
Yeah. Well, or it's him driving over to their place, and that's where he picks them up, and he's already got it recording in the car.
Yeah. But he's not in the car, so he just parks the car and walks away.
How do you know he's not in the car?
Because you'd hear his voice.
No, you wouldn't. Not if he was just sitting there recording.
I think the way that Blake and Jenny are bitching at each other in the car indicates that no one else is in the car with them.
Yeah, okay. So, we've already talked about From a Balance Beam.
I was going to ask, I'm 95% certain this is exactly the same as it appears on Lifted. No difference at all.
No difference at all, for sure.
Okay. Because I guess I'm used to the Kanye Wests of the world. like retooling tracks.
Well, I think if he did it today, he would do that.
It would probably be a different version.
Yeah. No, I think he did this because I think it really does come down to either they recorded, I don't know when they recorded this.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to wonder if this was just part of the Lifted stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of, he's going to do this again later with Lua. He's going to do an EP that's kind of a single. So if you think of From a Balance Beam as the lead single from Lifted before the album was out, the rest of these are just B-sides to go with it.
Right.
But it was at least framed upon its release as an EP because maybe nobody knew there was a full-length album coming.
So From a Balance Beam, you know what? I think we talked about this in the last episode, but I think it's the perfect thing to bring it up with it, where it's like, this is the intro song to Bright Eyes as like what Bright Eyes sounds like.
Yeah, I agree.
You know? And so
everything's in there.
Everything's in there. It's a perfect song.
Yeah.
I don't really think we need to talk about it again.
No, let's jump right into Messenger's Bird Song.
Well, the kitchen is cold.
So I was thinking about Mike Mogus, our man Mike Mogus, and I was thinking about how he's not there during Every Day and Every Night.
Say the title of the song again.
Messenger's Bird Song?
Well, the kitchen is cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. That's how I say it too.
You do it with that kind of that meter.
It's Messenger Bird's song.
Oh, really? That's funny. Why do I say Messenger's Bird Song?
I've always said it that way too.
Huh.
And I was like, today I looked
Attorneys
at the title and I was like, oh my God.
Messenger Bird's Song.
It's Messenger Bird's song. It's the Messenger Bird's song. It's
right,
not
which makes
the
more
Messenger's
sense.
song.
It's not a Messenger's Bird song. It's not a guy who works for UPS singing about birds. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always said it like that too. It's so funny that you said it.
Okay.
Because I literally have a note to be like, talk about the fact that you've always thought this title was different. And it's so funny that you say it the same way.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mike Mogus.
Yes.
Absent from Every Day and Every Night, obviously. Not in the picture yet. He was off doing his own thing.
Yeah. Every Day and Every Night is 1999. There's No Beginning to the Story is 2002.
Yeah.
We should just put that into the context of that we're talking years later.
And it's when he was clearly working on the Lifted sound because everything here sounds, well, not everything, but a couple of these songs sound like they could go into Lifted, particularly this song.
Yes.
It sounds like it has a similar sound like from the You Will and those ones.
Yeah.
And Mike Mogus comes in with this wild and beautiful mandolin part.
Yeah, the mandolin is really, I mean, it's perfect.
Nod your head if the plans have changed. Shake your love if they stayed the same. Smile at me and I will stay.
Well, the mandolin, I think, is important to bring up the fact that, like, this mandolin, this style, the guy playing it, we're going to be hearing this all through the next albums. You know, like this is a sound that they stuck to very much for the rest of their run.
Right.
You know,
this is like, it's so funny that they can control it. You know, Connor Oberst is like loudly wailing, singing, and Mike Mogus is like wailing on this mandolin, and it somehow still works out.
this chorus is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And just like everything about it is like, this is what we love about this guy.
Yeah.
Like, I just love it. It's really a gorgeous chorus, and it's just a beautiful song in general.
When you think about From a Balance Beam being the perfect Bright Eyes song, Messenger Bird's song is another perfect encapsulation of some of the stuff that Connor Oberst does best.
It does.
Which is starting
It
to make me
is.
think that maybe There Is No Beginning to This Story is the perfect Connor Oberst introductory album. We'll work on that thesis as we go track by track.
It kind of is, right?
Yeah. One knock on this song, I will say. I'm not wild about, I guess, wordplay around the word come. So you made me come, then you sent me away. Thing.
Yes.
I'm not wild about come play.
Okay.
You know?
I'm fine with it, but I'm not. I think it's a case by case basis. Okay,
It's too easy. That's my issue.
Okay, that I support. That I support as your basis for why. I think it's more about who's doing the coming.
Oh, maybe.
Okay, right? Like Conor Oberst saying that, you're like, it's a little weird, you
Yeah,
know.
I don't
If
know. I
a
don't
girl
think about
said, if Jenny Lewis made that comment, I'd be like, I'm a little more receptive to it. Or if a rapper said it, I was going to say Kanye West, but I'm going to say no to Kanye
I'm so
West.
fucking sick of hearing Kanye West talk about cum. Jesus Christ.
But what I'm saying is, I think it depends on who you are.
There's definitely dudes I'd be more willing to hear sing about cum than Conor Oberst. But there's dudes I'd be less willing to hear sing about it. You know,
Name me one of them.
guys that I feel less likely.
Yeah.
Todd Backley from The Faint.
I think I'd be more comfortable with him
like
saying
you know
it.
the Faint song, like "Wet from Birth." That song's so fucking gross.
Yeah, but what about like
Ugh.
"Worked Up So Sexual"? That's a great song.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good song.
I see you working night. Are you sexually amused? What's it like to have a room of guys encircling you?
The Faint, you guys. When we get to them, you're gonna really like The Faint.
We're gonna talk about The Faint for sure when we do like Drunk Kid Catholic and Digital Ash, because Clark Backley played the drums on Digital Ash.
Yeah, but like I feel like we need to have an episode where we maybe touch on some bands. We were talking about a Saddle Creek 50 episode.
Right,
Maybe we
right.
could do it then.
Maybe, yeah. I think some of those songs people would really like. You know?
I think some of those songs people would really like, and the other songs we won't talk about.
Yeah, you're right.
Future spills its intangibles, an unknown set of variables, a path that's splitting infinitely up ahead. So tell me, what's the use to pick and choose from what you should or shouldn't do? That's
So we are free men.
I was like giddy talking to Sarah about the fact that we were going to be able to talk about this song.
I love this song so much.
I love this song because it reminds me of you.
Yeah, it reminds me of you.
That's how I feel about it. Like
we
it's like
sing
it's an
this song a
important
lot.
song. It's
We're
an
not that
important
good
song
at
to
doing
us.
it.
Yeah.
We're not that good at singing it, but we sing the song all the time, and it's just a fun because I don't know. It's two weird voices. We both have weird voices.
We love. I mean, like this a Conor Oberst duet. I mean,
And this has Maria Taylor in it too, doing some backing vocals.
is that Maria Taylor?
Yeah,
I've
I'm
never
pretty sure it's
considered
Maria
who
Taylor.
it is.
like a bad habit, the one you couldn't kick. There it always is, and it's nothing that no doctor's gonna fix.
Like, I don't know. There's something about the way that the way this song is like the drums are very like floor tom heavy, and
Yes.
the like when the chorus swells and the drums get really fast, like the
When we were talking about the lead off in the last one,
yeah.
they do a lot of that in this, where it's just a great. They like come in on each other greatly.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
like the end of the chorus, like that, you know, and there's nothing that no doctor's gonna fix.
Yeah, when they
That's
get together,
awesome.
it's like it's like the swells with
It's like a
the
superhero team up in a song,
Yeah, it is.
which leads us to maybe the most important question on this album.
Yeah,
Who the fuck is the other voice?
yeah.
Okay, folks, let me tell you something. Morgan and I have been listening to this song for, well over a decade, and we don't know who the fuck the other voice in this song is. It is part of the problem is that this album does not have track-by-track credits. So there are several other male
by the
voices.
way, like all of his albums are like kind of you have to kind of decipher who does what on
True.
like
So there's no listing of who sings what, and there are several different men who sing on this album other than Conor Oberst. So our primary suspects here are Todd Backley, now Todd Fink,
yes.
who he took his wife's name when he got married, like Jack White, and Simon Joyner. So if you look online, if you look up this song on YouTube, you will find fervent debate in the YouTube comments about who it is, and 50% of the people will say it's Todd Fink, and 50% of the people will say it's Simon Joyner.
Okay.
Let's talk about the possible evidence. The reason that it's hard, why is it hard to tell who it is? It's hard to tell if it's Todd Fink because Todd Fink normally sings in the faint, and so his voice is normally digitally altered.
Confident with your back to the audience.
So what does Todd Fink's voice sound like when it's not digitally altered? Hard to say. There are a few times in Faint songs when it's not, but when it is, he's like singing in a kind of low voice, which again makes it hard to determine. Simon Joyner, I like Simon Joyner. He wrote a song that Connor Oberst covers, we'll hear later, called Burn Rubber.
Yeah.
I've heard a bunch of Simon Joyner songs. Motherfucker can't carry a tune.
If you turn the porch light off and let the marble night withdraw, you can smoke a cigarette on the wooden steps.
Really?
No.
Mm.
And yet,
Interesting.
he's this Sinatra-ass crooner on We Are Free Men. So
Yeah.
how is it possible that Simon Joyner suddenly became a good singer for this one song? I've listened to Simon Joyner songs that are new. I've listened to Simon Joyner songs that are old to try and figure out, did this guy figure out pitch at some point in his life? No. He didn't.
I think it's Todd Fink, because I think that, which I had never even heard was an option. I mean, because I kind of just take all of my information from you. So when we were talking,
it's no
about
exaggeration to say we've been debating about this and wondering about this for literally for years.
Well, I think that if you had asked me from 2002
Yeah.
to last year, who is the other person, I would say I think it's Simon Joyner. But after you brought up Todd Fink, I was like, that sounds like him.
Well, let me tell you. So I talked to Todd Fink on Instagram.
Oh my God, that's so funny, because I was about to be like, I bet we could get him to answer whether or not it's him.
I asked him.
Yes.
I said, hey, Todd Fink, really like your music. Listen, man, did you sing on the song We Are Free Men? His response, doesn't sound familiar. Was that a Bright Eyes song? And I said, yeah, it was from, There's No Beginning to the Story, like 2002. No response. So, how are we to interpret this piece of evidence from Todd Fink?
First of all,
Doesn't sound familiar. Is
what?
it possible that Todd Fink could have sang on a song as good as We Are Free Men and forgotten about it?
Okay. Wait.
Morgan's got to take a minute to process
Well,
this
so
information.
first of all, I think that you expected me to be more surprised about the fact that you talked to him. I was on the level of like, we could probably talk to this guy.
Well,
But now I'm more blown away
I
by
didn't really,
his response.
I didn't want to shock you that I talked to him. I wanted to take you on the journey
Oh my
of
God.
Todd Fink
So-
answered, but didn't answer in a way where we can say for sure.
ambiguously.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of prize we can offer to let listeners of this show. If someone can, because I also tried to message Simon Joyner, and I haven't heard back from him. But if someone could try to nail down a way that we could figure this out, inquiring minds at this point need to fucking know who this
But-
singer is.
How does he respond to you that doesn't sound familiar? Is it a Bright Eyes song? Did you make any sort of reference to Bright Eyes?
I said, did you sing on the song "We Are Free Men"? I don't remember. Hang on,
Because
let me
because
find it.
who does this? Who does? I know what you're talking about, but it doesn't sound familiar.
Well,
what kind of shit is he trying to pull right now?
This is another thing: is that Todd Fink has always demonstrated a sort of playful but serious contempt for Connor Oberst. So he could be sort of fucking with me on this. Let's see. Where is he? Todd Fink. Okay. September 5th. Zach Little. Hey, my dude, I love your music. Quick question. What song did you sing on There Is No Beginning to This Story? Is that you on We Are Free Men? Todd Fink, September 6th. Not ringing a bell. Is that a Bright Eyes album? Zach Little. Yeah, it was like right before Lifted. No answer. So hang on. Now that I've phrased it this way, I did specifically ask him, there is no beginning to the story.
So like that
we are free
mystery
men.
isn't the part.
And he said not ringing a bell. I feel like you know the name of the song if you sing that big a part of it.
What the fuck? I'm blown away. But mostly just because, like, this doesn't surprise me at all out of him, too.
Yeah.
Like, the things that I know of him are, like, very little.
Yes. Did you know that he is a what's the word for a guy who makes hats? He's a haberdasher. He's a haberdasher now. He also still plays in The Faint and a couple other bands, but on the side, haberdasher. You can buy hats made by Todd Fink.
You know, it's like I'm just like, okay, so like I remember seeing a video of him like taking a shit outside of a No Doubt concert that they opened for.
Really?
Like in front of people. Yeah. Because
Okay.
like and it seemed like he was just like, fuck this, like, I'm cooler than this kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but it definitely fits into my idea of what Todd Fink is like and has always been like.
Yeah. So that response to you is like, I'm almost like, yeah, I mean, there's no surprise that he wouldn't, but also this guy's kind of an animal. So
I don't know. It's making me think maybe it is Simon Joyner. And that maybe Simon Joyner's kind of warbly falling in and out of tune thing is an act on his own songs. And that if he wants to, he can croon.
it makes me think that it is Todd Backley and he's
Shit.
and
We're
he's
still
an
split.
asshole.
Well, I guess now we know if we ever meet Connor Oberst, this is what we ask him.
Yeah.
Settle a bet, Connor. Who is singing with you on We Are Free Men?
This is the first question that we ask him, and it's kind of an icebreaker, too, because
Yeah.
it's like, we seem cool because we know enough to
Right.
talk to him about his old.
Yeah.
But also, does he want to talk about that to begin with? No. But we could make him,
Yeah.
you know?
I think if you were going to ask him about anything, you'd probably want to talk about One Jug of Wine, Two Vessels. But he's always said that's his favorite album. He also said the last time I saw him perform, he also said that, or no, I listened to him in a podcast. He said that his favorite song to perform right now is Cape Canaveral.
That song's boring. No, it's a good song. That new one that just came out, that podcast that just came out,
I don't know.
that they're like on his Instagram, they're like on the Mystic Valley Band Instagram, they keep being like, listen to part 1 with Connor Oberst
No.
about his life in music.
No, not that. This is some other thing from some Swedish guy.
Okay, there's a new
Found it on YouTube.
podcast episode out with some
Shit, gotta
with
listen
an
to it.
interview. Also, let's talk about Mystic Valley Band. They're playing shows.
Yeah,
Like, I want an album.
promising sign. I think we'll get one before you know it.
I hope so.
How do we handle that on the podcast?
What do you mean?
Do we
Oh,
interrupt
do we
our
skip ahead?
Yeah, do we interrupt our normal thing to cover the momentous occasion of a new new Mystic Valley Band album?
I think we do, yeah. Because ultimately, okay, so we're telling the story of his career. But more importantly, if he comes out with something that we should talk about.
Yeah, we also talk about what we're listening to right now. So
Right.
what else could we possibly talk about if a new Mystic Valley Band album comes out?
Right. Because
By
it's
the
going to
way-
be all I listen to. Even if it's shit, I'm going to be like, it's the best album ever fucking made.
What are we doing next, by the way?
We're not going to touch upon anything earlier than this, right?
I mean, at some point, but I feel like it's not time yet.
At some point, but when we're like grasping for
Yeah.
episodes. So I think, well, so then we're going to go right into, are we going to go right to I'm Wide Awake It's Morning?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we should do Oh Holy Fools and
Oh, yeah, that is
Oh
what
Holy
we
Fools
should
and
do.
One Jug of Wine next.
Yeah. Okay, great.
So here's what I want to say about that.
Wait, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no other piece that should be other than One Jug of Wine?
One Jug of Wine might have come out after I'm Wide Awake. I'm not sure. But here's what I'd like to say about One Jug of Wine, Two Vessels. There is a reissue of One Jug of Wine, Two Vessels that has
Yeah.
4 additional tracks. They're fine, but they are not. They betray the spirit of the original.
I agree.
So if you're going to listen to One Jug of Wine, Two Vessels, and you find it on some streaming service like Spotify, the first song on the album is Tripped. Skip the other 4. Start with Tripped. It's Tripped, and then it's
Black comedy? No.
yes, it's Tripped, Black Comedy,
I'll be your.
Poison, I'll Be Your Friend,
Yep.
and I don't know what the other one is. There's 6 songs.
Spring cleaning.
Spring Cleaning is the last one. So I'm pretty sure.
We are the definitive Bright Eyes fan. I mean, come on. We just came up with that, no problem. I guess people probably could do that.
But there's songs
come
like
on.
I Know You and Roller Skating and stuff. Those songs come at the beginning of the new reissue of One Jug of Wine. So if you look up One Jug of Wine on Spotify, those songs are first. Skip those ones for now. Like we'll circle back to those later, but they are not of a piece with the rest of the album, and turning One Jug of Wine into 10 songs was not a good idea. I don't know whose idea it was.
I think
but-
I think he was just like, they wanted to do a reissue on it or something. And he was like, we have all these other songs. We might as well just,
Yeah.
from that recording
But
session, we might as well put them out.
It ruined it. One Jug of Wine is perfect as is, and I don't want it to be
It is
adulterated.
It is an awesome group
So
of
that's good
songs.
because we'll do because those will go well together. Oh Holy Fools and One Jug of Wine because they feature other voices very prominently, and that's different for Connor Oberst. Anyway, We Are Free Men.
Yeah.
Love this song. It's my all-time favorite duet. Like if you're like, hey Zach, what's your favorite duet? I'd be like, it's We Are Free Men with Connor Oberst and I don't know who. And then second place is
What?
Lusitania, Andrew Bird and Annie Clark.
Okay. Christy's upset.
Christy has
with you.
one. Christy's favorite duet of all time is Willie's Lady by Aeneas Mitchell and Jefferson Hamer, which is my very close third place.
You know what I wanted to bring up? This is the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
Islands in the Stream, Kenny Rogers and Dolly
a good
Parton.
one. That's a good song.
That song is the shit.
It's a good duet. That's fourth place.
When I think of duets, like I think back on like
they were definitely a
Johnny
bigger
Cash
deal. Yeah.
and June Carter and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
you know, like
In the olden days, they were a bigger deal.
the olden days, the 1980s children.
That brings us to
Yeah, another song that reminds me very much of you.
Loose Leaves.
Yeah.
So I'm going to find this video. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to link in the video info. Or I'll put it on Instagram or whatever, something. I'll put it in both places. The Righteous TV Season 1 theme song was Loose Leaves. So there's several iterations of our extremely corny credit sequence set to Loose Leaves, and it was perfect.
It was perfect.
And I remember once Jory deleted it off the computer by accident right before we were finishing an episode, and Ryan and I were so mad, and we went into GarageBand and we just made some like weird goofy song instead, and it was a lot of fun. It was I just have a very happy memory of Ryan and I like very quickly trying to improvise a song because Jory had deleted our Loose Leaves MP3.
Jory left his tuxedo in our hotel room in BC, and I was like, just get it later. Like, don't worry about it. It's not the wedding's still not till tomorrow. We're gonna be together. So we go off. You guys go off. Do your thing. Sarah and I go have dinner. We get drunk. We go back to the hotel room. We're finally crashing. That morning we had woken up at 3 a.m. to get on a flight to Washington D.C. It was like 11:30. I get a text from Jory. I'm coming to get the tuxedo, and I'm like, no, I'm naked in bed. like no, and he's like, and I'm like, why? With a long thing, and he writes, 'cause knocking. He starts knocking at my door.
And time's not poison, but once you drink it all, you'll die. So let's just sit there real slow. Yeah, we can nurse it all night. Try to believe that once it's gone, the pour another round will come back to life.
I guess
Loose Leaves.
I can never. I love this song just as is, but I also always associate it with like a very early, creatively rich time in my life, which will give it even more positive associations. And the song is just kind of a fun, like it's a song about like school ending and like summertime and just like having fun.
It's a great, and it is a song that makes you feel like it's a very uplifting.
Yeah. The other thing I like is that Loose Leaves is a pun, because the first thing he says is the stories in the soil, loose leaves cover the ground. Later on in the song, he talks about scattering all of his notebooks all over the prep school lawn, like loose leaf paper. Loose leaves.
Nope, never got that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I always thought that was cool.
I like that. I've never noticed that.
It's extremely digital. It's like all
Well, and it's like
bouncy synthesizers.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it's a lot like what we'll hear later with Digital Ash, like these like layered digital sounds, but it's like the primary color version of Digital Ash. It's like here's the fun stuff, and then later on it's like here's the this. I'm making a gesture with my hands. I'm like chopping. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's like here's the darker side of the same sound is what you get in Digital Ash.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was gonna say. Is that nothing on Digital Ash is as upbeat as this.
Right.
But
the most upbeat song on Digital Ash is a song about the afterlife.
yeah, it is. Arc of Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the most upbeat song on that. By the way, great song.
It's a great song. We'll get there eventually.
We've already talked about Untitled.
Yeah, so this after the super fun of Loose Leaves, you get this kind of little collage basically to segue into Lifted, and I genuinely think it was intended that way. It's funny because if you read the reviews of There Is No Beginning to the Story, it was treated as its own thing because I don't think people knew what was coming next, and nobody went back to re-edit their reviews. But it really works as a kind of appetizer to Lifted. So, we probably should have done this episode before.
Yeah, right. Especially with our theory of it leading into directly into leading from.
Yeah. Well, maybe this episode needs to.
I couldn't get the words out.
This episode needs to end with a sound montage that connects to last episode. So if you play them in reverse order, they connect to each other.
Yeah.
Or if you play them backwards. I've always wanted to do a podcast episode that was backwards, so that people would have to download it and reverse it to be able to listen to it.
That should be your last episode of the last podcast. Do it that way.
Yeah, maybe I will.
I loved a triple spiral, my maiden mother crone.
Out of all of them, do you think that you could? Should we pick our triple spiral out of
the whole thing?
Out of everything that we've talked about today?
Yeah. Okay, I can do that. Now, do we just say don't count From a Balance Beam since that's really another album?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it kind of changes the calculus. I think my triple spiral is going to go like this. We Are Free Men.
Yeah.
Loose Leaves.
Yeah.
Neely O'Hara.
Mine are all from There's No Beginning to the Story. It's Loose Leaves, or it's Messenger's Bird Song. It's Messenger Bird Song.
Messenger Bird Song, yeah.
Loose Leaves and We Are Free Men.
Yeah. I thought you were going to throw me a real curveball and say Untitled is one of your favorite tracks.
I thought about it.
Alt version, fun fact, by the way, the Japanese version of Every Day and Every Night includes the song Amy in the White Coat, which we will talk about when we do Noise Floor.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not on anything until Noise Floor, right?
No.
Noise Floor is a really interesting thing that he did, which is that he took all of his all of his random tracks that he had all across the board, and released them as an album.
Yeah. I actually don't think Conor Oberst had anything to do with it. I think he was not totally psyched about it. Yeah.
Well, it's not great.
Oh, I love Noise Floor.
Why?
Oh, I love every song on Noise Floor.
I feel like it's a lot of nonsense, no?
No.
Well,
there's gold on Noise Floor.
Well, there's gold on everything.
But honestly, when we were talking about how you would introduce someone to Conor Oberst, Christy and I were talking about Noise Floor being a great intro to Conor Oberst.
Is it? I must be completely mistaken about the things that are on it.
Yeah, get back to it. We'll do Noise Floor in a couple hours.
Noise Floor is not something that I've listened to in the past.
Couple of hours. No. No, well, I mean, in a couple of hours of podcast.
Yeah, in a couple of hours of podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christy. Okay, well, what other business do we have here?
I don't have any other business. I'm good.
I'm good too. I think that this meeting is adjourned.
Yeah. So, have a good fucking day. Never know what to say at the end of this.
We're gonna have to. We got to come up with a good sign off for you.
Yeah. There is no beginning to this story, but there is an end to this podcast.
Here we go again, infatuation.